Jody Mac here with Young Birds 365 Monday edition. Yes, Eagles will be practicing this week. John, they're going to call you about 55 minutes before they're going to actually allow you in for
we still don't know when we're going. It'll probably be either tomorrow or Thursday. But still don't know. So maybe 55 minutes. Yeah, maybe.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Are those the 3 days this week there?
That's a good question. What is it?
Because last week it was Monday, off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right?
Yeah, I think it must be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because the 8th is the last day. The last day until training camp, and that's Thursday. So yeah, must be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because the 2 days they bloated were Tuesday and Thursday.
Fair enough. So we'll find out what day that John actually gets to go in and see and overstate a tremendous overstatement on your part, because what was the squash match between the two punters last week? Did you really have to go there, John, and mention the narrative?
That's probably what Joe saw. Better? I called it. I hope people know I did that facetiously, but I do have to be careful with that because people take stuff very, very seriously. He did have a much better day, Aaron Cepas, than Ty Zedner, but it is one day. Yeah, it's not.
And as much end of the world. As much as I appreciate you, partner, I will say this. I put more stock in Jimmy Kempski's evaluation of punters. He has borderline been obsessed with evaluating punters the last several years.
I'm sure Jimmy said the same thing.
I had him on WIP with me and Mac now on Sunday, and he basically said the same thing you did, that it really wasn't close. If you were matching one against the other, he actually had the hang times. I think I'm going to apologize if I get this wrong, but I think I remember exactly what he said. Hang time for Cepas was almost a flat 5, 4.97 or something like that.
Yeah, one was at like 5.11, one of his boomers, which is really good, by the way.
Right. Really Anything good. Over 5 is outstanding, and he was right up against 5, whereas Zedner's was about a 4.4 average hang time, which is not good. And I know it's a half a second, but that means a lot. And when you're talking about
that's a huge gap. That is a huge gap. People, that's like 4.41 versus 4.48. That is a huge gap in the NFL.
Right.
By the way, it's June 5th and 6th. Duh, I forgot about Monday. So they're practicing today, Tuesday.
Oh, they are practicing today.
Yeah, today, Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay, so we might have some Eagle leak out information tomorrow. We shall see. All right, what I did track over the weekend, although there was no Eagle news, I was waiting for a significant trade in the National Football League this weekend because June 1st was Thursday, and there weren't really too many big Philadelphia, any NFL team moves on Thursday. And then Friday the 2nd and Saturday the 3rd and Sunday the 4th, June 1st came and went, John, and there was no major moves in the National Football League. And it used to be a bigger day that there are salary cap ramifications and roster ramifications. There were no major moves, no real recognizable name, no star players were traded and or released. Has the significance of June 1st, I won't say disappeared, but certainly dissipated?
Somewhat, from the perspective, what they changed is you can now designate people June 1st releases or June. So you can cut guys earlier. You used to have to wait for June 1st. You don't have to do that anymore. It's still a big day from a bookkeeping perspective. Teams getting money back. In other words, you can cut a guy in March with a June 1st designation. You don't get the salary cap relief until June 1st.
Right.
So you can do a solid to the player in essence. But so from That's what's changed. But from a bookkeeping perspective, it's still the same as it's always been. Um, the Eagles, though, didn't use it this year. They've used it in the past, obviously. So from there, it's not a big June 1st year for them.
Well, at least as per the moves that were made, wasn't a big June 1st year for anybody. Even if you created
No,
cap room, nobody
I
used
meant,
it over the weekend.
I meant for, in other words, they didn't have any June 1st releases, so they didn't gain any cap room. That's what I mean. Other teams did and gained room. Buffalo signed Leonard Floyd today. Um, Dalvin Cook's going to go somewhere at some point. Vikings are trying to hold out to get something. Um, there's going to be moves, but the reason why it's not as splashy as it once was is that post June 1st designation, which didn't exist in the past. It's about 3, 4, I don't know how many years exactly. It's a few years old. In years, go back 10 years, you would have to wait for June 1st, and then it became more on people's radar.
Right. The team that actually, I think, benefited the most as of June 1st was the Dolphins. I think they created like $13 million worth of cap, which means they cut a bunch of guys and knew that as of June 1st, they'd be able to get salary cap advances, and they didn't jump into the fray and sign anybody this week either. I think the Cowboys got over $10 million because of Ezekiel Elliott. They cut him with a June 1st designation. So they got like $10 million in salary cap clearance. They didn't do anything either. So even the teams that got it finally kicked in and you got the cap relief, basically nobody used it either. So it's kind of a boring weekend in football, sorry to say. But we'll see if it has any effect. You mentioned Dalvin Cook. There were some people who thought, the Eagles should be making a play. If Dalvin Cook's going to shake free, they should be. Dalvin Cook gets released, he should be there. Well, no, they traded for DeAndre Swift instead.
We had some people saying they should have got Leonard Floyd. I'm like, how many stinking pass rushers you want?
Another edge rusher. They need another edge rusher.
If you heard of the name, there's a group of fans that want them.
First things first. Speaking of June 1st, they could still tell Derek Barnett, thank you, no. Now, I'm not the biggest Derek Barnett fan, and he's been clinging to a roster spot for a couple of years now. I get it. Nick Sirianni first, Doug Peterson said it, and then Nick Sirianni said it. He's a hard worker. He's a good guy to have in the locker room. He's a very upbeat guy, and he gives you everything in the limited practice time that the Eagles have. And then on game day, he works real hard. He gives you a tremendous effort. So they like his character and him being part of the team. But if he can't get the quarterback, can't create pressures, and you've got better guys that you need to pull off the field to get him onto the field, just doesn't make any sense for me. They had Leonard Floyd. Stop it. There's no chance something like that was going to happen as long as Derek Barnett's still on this roster.
No. Well, yeah, it was never going to happen no matter what, but they don't have, like I said, they've already budgeted. They are where they are. No issues from a salary cap perspective. They don't have to do anything with Derek Barnett right now. They can wait it out. As I said, it is a position that is valuable, that numerous teams will be looking for over the summer, especially when they get to the camp and realize some of their younger players probably aren't ready to play. That's always what happens in this league. You start to panic a little bit. This is where Howie is really, really good. There's no sense of urgency. And then injuries. This team had 70 sacks last year, Jody, and they were not happy. They were not happy. And Derek Barnett was supposed to be the fourth guy, and he tore his ACL in the week 1. And they didn't get what they wanted from Patrick Johnson. They went out and they tried to trade for Robert Quinn. That didn't work. They had 70 sacks and they weren't happy. So they are very cognizant of having that sort of come at you in waves mentality. Problem is Nolan Smith is here now. So he's number 4 and Derek Barnett is number 5. But they don't have to trade him. They don't have to cut him. And they will wait and wait and wait and wait.
You say one thing that doesn't add up for me. They got 70 sacks, but they weren't happy. But they don't have to cut Derek Barnett. So you're telling me you think Derek Barnett actually has a chance to come in and increase?
Why do you, I'll turn it around on you. Why do you want Derek Barnett out of here immediately?
Why do you want to keep Derek Barnett?
What if someone gets hurt in training camp? What is he's already here. You don't need room. You don't need cap room to sign somebody else. What is the urgency to get him out of here when you can wait? Maybe you can wait and a more high profile. The best high profile situation at quarterback was Sam Bradford. The Eagles waited and waited and waited and waited, and all of a sudden Teddy Bridgewater gets hurt, and they fleece Rick Spielman, and they get a first-round pick. Now they're not going to get that. I'm just using that as a perfect example of an injury cropping up, desperation, and then all of a sudden you have something happening. There's no need to put your foot down on the gas. You just wait. If you need them, you need them. If you don't need them, you can trade them in the summer. That's what Howie's good at.
Right. But you just threw out a name there, Leonard Floyd.
But they don't want Leonard Floyd. I threw out a name.
So they want Derek Barnett more than Leonard Floyd. Who do you think is going to have a better season this year?
Why would Leonard Floyd come here? Why would Leonard Floyd come to Philadelphia?
Why not?
What do you mean? They have Josh Sweat. They have Hassan Reddick. They have Brandon Graham. They have Nolan Smith. What kind of freaking reps is Leonard Floyd going to get? He wants to go to a situation.
Well, then why do you need to keep Derek Barnett if you've got this great depth at edge rusher? Then I don't see how Derek Barnett
he's already here. He's already under contract. You've already done your budgeting. He's already here. You're not bringing in somebody. First of all, Leonard Floyd doesn't want to come here because there's no role for him. Derek Barnett's already here. He doesn't have an option at this point. So you wait it out. It's an insurance policy. If you need them, you need them. If you don't need them, you don't need them, and you can move on and go in a different direction. But there's no reason on June 5th for Howie Roseman to wake up and say, oh, I got to get rid of Derek Barnett because I have Nolan Smith. No, you wait. It might be Matt Pryor. It might be Jalen Reagor. You wait until somebody has a need, and then you maximize what you can get back for the guy. Hopefully everybody stays healthy. And if everybody stays healthy, the Eagles don't need Derek Barnett. But right now they have him. There's no urgency to trade him, and maybe they will need him, but the hope is they don't need him because the hope is everybody's healthy. Leonard Floyd is not coming here. The Eagles had no interest, and they're not. I mean, that's, again, I bring up to fans, how many pass rushers do you want? And why would Leonard Floyd want to come here?
Yeah,
no play.
I must be missing something. That Leonard Floyd doesn't want to come to the Eagles, but they want to keep Derek Barnett. Either you've got your 4 defensive ends in position. So why do you worry about the 5th defensive guy? Wouldn't you want to get the better of those 2 guys? You're going to compare one to the other. Why wouldn't you want to have the better one?
Let's go to break and see if Jeff Kerr can explain it to you, because I'm pretty sure he's going to say the same thing I do, and I don't know, but I'm pretty sure, and maybe he can explain it better, because obviously I'm not getting through.
Yeah, you're not. This is Birds 365, John McMullen Jody McDonald.
Do you stream on a